All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always ready to dive in.
Awesome. Well, today we're going to be looking at something that's been kind of blowing up recently in Philippine entertainment.
Ooh.
Yeah. Kim Chiu, the actress, was just announced as the Tanduay calendar girl for 2025.
Ah, that's right. I saw that.
Yeah, and I was looking at the article about it on ABS-CBN News and just doing a little background research too. And I realized there's actually like a lot to unpack here. Like this is more than just a typical celebrity endorsement, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. It's definitely interesting to see her chosen for that role, especially, when you think about Kim Chiu's career and everything.
Totally. So I guess for anyone listening who might not be totally familiar with her, could you maybe give us a quick rundown of like her career highlights?
Yeah, of course. Well, Kim Chiu first kind of burst onto the scene, gosh, almost 20 years ago now, back in 2006.
Wow, 2006. Feels like a lifetime ago.
I know, right? She won Pinoy Big Brother, Teen Edition, which is basically, the Philippines version of Big Brother.
Right, right. And that's how she like became a household name.
Exactly. But it's not like she just disappeared after that. She's had this incredibly successful acting career.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She's been in like tons of movies and TV shows.
She was in the Philippine adaptation of What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, which was a big hit. And she even won an award at the Seoul International Drama Awards for her role in a drama series called Lin Lang.
Oh, wow. International recognition, too. That's huge.
Yeah, she's done really well for herself. Oh, and of course, on top of all the acting, she also does TV hosting and brand ambassador work.
Right. She's like multi-talented, for
Yeah.
sure. So going back to the Tanduay thing, I got to admit, when I first heard the news, I was like, okay, cool. But I wasn't really sure what the big deal was.
Yeah, I can see how it might not seem like a huge deal at first glance, but the Tanduay Calendar Girl title actually carries a lot of weight culturally in the Philippines.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, for decades it's been like this iconic thing, and traditionally it's always been associated with a certain image, think women in their early 20s known for being, well, sexy.
So Kim being in her mid-30s is kind of breaking the mold then, right?
Exactly. It's definitely not the typical Tanduay calendar girl image. And Kim herself actually talked about this in an interview. She said, "I believe this is a testament to how much I've grown and how far I've come, not only as an artist, as an individual, but most especially as a woman."
That's really cool. She's not shying away from her age at all. She's owning it.
Yeah. It's refreshing to see.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's got to be more to it, right? Like, why Kim Chiu specifically? There are plenty of actresses in their 30s, so what makes her the right fit?
Well, one of the sources I was reading mentioned her timeless appeal, which sounds kind of vague, I guess. But when you look at her career, it makes sense. She's been in the public eye for almost 20 years now, and she's managed to stay relevant. She's gone from teen idol to respected actress, and her public image has always been positive.
Right. She's never really caught up in any drama or scandals. Always comes across as very genuine.
Exactly. And I think that authenticity is a huge part of her appeal.
I think so too. It makes her relatable. So that's the timeless part. But what about the appeal? Like, why are people so drawn to her?
Well, in addition to her personality and all that, she's also super dedicated to health and fitness and self-care, which I think adds to this image of youthful energy and confidence.
Interesting. So it's not just about literally looking young. It's more about having that vibrant energy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that actually leads us to maybe the most interesting part of this whole story, Kim's personal journey and how she came to say yes to this opportunity. Because apparently it wasn't an immediate yes.
Really? She had doubts about it.
The interview mentioned that when she first got the offer, she was actually shocked and even a little unsure of herself. Did she want this kind of attention, Especially given, the expectations that come with the Tanduay Calendar Girl title.
Yeah, that makes sense. To be in the public eye for so long, since she was a teenager, there must be a lot of pressure to maintain a certain image.
Absolutely. So she had to really think about it. And, she really took her time to process everything and think it through.
So what happened? Did she end up saying yes?
She did. And it sounds like she really went on a journey to get there.
I can imagine. To go from feeling unsure to saying yes to something like this must have taken some, inner work,
Totally. And it's interesting, in the interview, she actually mentions having this moment where she was asking herself, am I really doing this? Almost am I woman enough now?
Whoa, that's deep.
Yeah, it's like this opportunity kind of forced her to confront any insecurities she had about her age and traditional ideas of beauty.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be tough being a woman in the entertainment industry with all those pressures. So, what was it like for her? Like, how did she actually approach the photo shoot when she decided to go for it?
Well, it sounds like she was super hands-on with the whole thing. Like, from what I was reading, she worked really closely with the creative team to come up with a concept that really reflected her personal style.
That's cool. So she wasn't just like a model. She was really involved in shaping the whole image.
Exactly. She wanted to make sure it was authentically her, not just some generic calendar girl look.
I can totally respect that. And I mean, looking at the photos that have been released, you can definitely see that intentionality, right? Like there's a real sense of like confidence and power in those images.
Oh, absolutely. Remember those photos from the launch? The white bralette and skirt, the knee-high, boots the wings? I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's a strong look for sure, but it's also like stylish and modern, you know?
Totally. And I think that's what makes it so cool. It's not the same old, like, overly sexualized kind of imagery we might have seen in the past.
Right. It feels more sophisticated, more like her on her own terms, you know?
Exactly. And I think that's what people are responding to. It's a real departure from that like male gaze that has often been the lens for these kinds of campaigns.
Yeah, you're right. It's like she's reclaiming the narrative.
Totally. So
Yeah.
it's not just about challenging age norms. It's about like shifting the perspective and empowering women to define their own beauty standards.
I love that. So how are people reacting to all of this? Have you been following the social media buzz?
Oh, it's been wild. Like, everyone is praising her, her confidence, her beauty, her physique, the whole thing.
Yeah, I saw that too. There's a real sense of pride, especially from other women who see themselves in her journey, I think.
Totally. And that's what makes this whole thing so impactful. It's more than just a celebrity getting another endorsement deal.
The statement.
Exactly. It's about a woman reclaiming her agency, challenging the status quo, and inspiring other women to do the same.
You know, this actually reminds me of something I read recently about how the roles for women in Filipino media are starting to like change and evolve.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about how there's been this growing demand for more diverse and authentic representation, especially when it comes to age.
I've definitely noticed that too. Like, audiences are kind of over those stereotypical portrayals of women, right?
Totally. People want to see stories that reflect the real complexities of women's lives, like across different ages and backgrounds and experiences, you know?
Absolutely. So maybe Kim Chiu's selection as the Tanduay calendar girl is like a sign that the industry is actually starting to listen to that.
It's like a turning point, right?
Like-
Like recognizing that women in their 30s, 40s, and beyond are still vibrant and, you know, beautiful and worthy of being celebrated.
And not just celebrated, but given the space to define what those things mean for themselves.
Exactly. So this isn't just a win for Kim Chiu. It's potentially like a bigger cultural shift.
Yeah, it could really be a catalyst for change in the whole entertainment industry.
I love that. So maybe this is a good place to like shift gears a bit. I'm curious, what other signs are you seeing that suggest this evolution in Filipino media is actually happening? Like, are there other examples of this kind of change?
Well, one thing that comes to mind is like the kind of stories being told. We're seeing more narratives that are really female-led, and they're dealing with more complex themes, right? Like women navigating their careers and relationships and families.
Yeah. I'm thinking of some recent series and films that have done so well, even internationally, and they're not shying away from showing the, you know, the messiness of life. It feels real. And I think that's what people connect with.
Exactly. And it's not just about the stories themselves, but also who's telling them, We're seeing more women behind the camera now, too, like writers, directors, producers, all those roles.
Right. Having that diversity behind the scenes is so important because it means the stories are coming from a place of like lived experience.
Absolutely. And I think that also plays a role in like the kinds of roles that are being offered to women of different ages. We're starting to see more older actresses getting those leading roles that really showcase their talent, not just like their looks.
Yeah, for sure. I'm thinking of a few actresses who've been in the industry forever, and they're having these amazing, like, career comebacks.
Yeah.
They're not just playing grandmothers or side characters anymore.
Right. And audiences are eating it up because they want to see that. They want stories that reflect the full range of women's lives, and they're excited to see these amazing actresses getting the recognition they deserve.
Like everyone wins, right? The actresses, the industry, the viewers.
Totally. And then you can't forget about the impact this has on like the younger generation, seeing all these women of all different ages being celebrated for their talent and intelligence and, everything they bring to the table. It sends such a powerful message.
It's like it's showing them that there are no limits, right? That they can achieve anything no matter what.
Absolutely. And it helps redefine what success even means, you know? It's not just about fame or fortune, it's about living a life that's true to yourself.
And I think like Kim Chiu's whole journey really embodies that idea, right?
Mm.
From starting out so young to becoming this huge star and then still like continuing to grow and evolve.
Yeah. She didn't let age or industry expectations define her. She did it her own way.
And in doing so, she's like paving the way for others to do the same.
Totally.
I think that's what makes this whole story so powerful. It's not just about a celebrity and an endorsement deal. It's about something much bigger.
Yeah. It's about change and progress and women taking control of their own narratives.
Well said. So I guess to like wrap things up here, I think the main takeaway is that this whole Tanduay calendar girl thing with Kim Chiu is about way more than just a photo shoot.
It's a moment for sure. A sign that things are shifting both in terms of beauty standards and just the way women are represented in media.
Totally. And I think it's a reminder that like age really is just a number.
Absolutely. True beauty comes from owning who you are and embracing your whole journey.
So as we all go about our day today, we hope our listener is thinking about this conversation and maybe even asking themselves some questions like, what does success and confidence mean to them? How can they challenge those expectations and forge their own path?
Great questions.
Awesome. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.